College Gameday is built by the Home Depot, proud sponsor of college football's premier pregame show.
Homecoming at the home of the Y. It'll be festive anyway, but when you throw in a visit from rival TCU, which swaggers into this town, number 8 in the BCS, undefeated off a beatdown of the Cougars a year ago. It's really spicy. This is the one feared setting in the Mountain West. The stands always full every game of passionate BYU zealots trying to impose their will on the visitors. Sometimes it's hard to find the games in this conference. This one will be worth the effort. Welcome to College Game Day from Provo for the first time ever. Chris, Lee, Kirk, and Desmond in front of the beautiful setting. When the sun comes up, it's really going to be something back here in the Mountain West. But, you know, this is not...
Bobby the bus.
Just where they know what to talk about at the end of the day. So they have
because they just have to wait during the day for the game.
Exactly, because this game is not on ESPN actually.
Yeah, that's right. That's weird.
Still, they'll.
You'll have to actually win and play. Nice bus. Okay, I don't.
Across a landscape so vast, beneath a star so bright, shadows are sparse. But for Texas Christian University, a program often overlooked, the light's been hard to find, unless you know where to look for it. Begin with the past. In the 30s, TCU was a powerhouse. With All-American slingin' Sammy Baugh at quarterback, the Horned Frogs won a share of the national championship in 1935. 3 years later, they won it again, with Davey O'Brien claiming the Heisman Trophy. But after 4 Southwest Conference crowns in the 50s, the glow faded. TCU went from perennial contender to postscript to worse. From 1974 to 83, the team failed to win more than 2 games in a season. And in 86, the program was placed on 3 years probation for booster payments to players. Now, TCU is back. Actually, it has been for a while. Starting in 2000, despite hopping from league to league, the Horned Frogs won 3 titles in 3 different conferences in a 6-year span. Under Coach Gary Patterson, 6 of the last 9 seasons, they finished with at least 10 wins, ranked.
They shut it down? But actually, they were pretty good. People were taking it. Oh, good. So you have people going off campus. Losses over a couple of decades. It's the ESPN primetime game as Meyer collides with Dan Mullen, his trusted assistant for 10 years. Here's Urban with Aaron Andrews.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Coach, first of all, our defense kind of banged up the middle, going to be missing some guys against Mississippi State. So what's the key for your defense when going up against their strength in Anthony Dixon?
Yeah, he's a big back, so you got to get him down on the ground. They have a little spread option attack that our guys used to seeing, but we have to tackle. We didn't tackle real well last week, but that's the key really to any defensive football game. We have to tackle well. And
speaking of last week, you called it a grinder. What part of your offense would you like to see improve the most from last week's game?
Well, there's 2 issues right now that we're dealing with. It's not so much yards, it's production in the red zone, and that's tied right into ball security. And so we were kind of nuts all week about high and tight, wrist above the elbow, and just take care of the ball. And our guys usually do, but we emphasized it.
All right, Coach, thanks so much. Looking forward to it. Send it back out to Provo, guys.
To Auburn, won last year. That snapped a streak. The home team had won the last 8. Something's got to give. That LSU offense against that Auburn defense, which is the 2nd worst in the SEC. Listen, great respect for officials in all conferences, including the SEC, but I do applaud the conference for reprimanding the officials who threw that phantom flag, which set up the Florida game-tying touchdown. Hurt Arkansas was the same crew that threw those ridiculous flags in the LSU-Georgia game. These guys try their best, whether they're directed by the rules committee or whatever. When you make mistakes and blow calls, you got to be reprimanded. So at least the SEC got that done. Arkansas, Ole Miss, it's an interesting game.
Well, I think Auburn has lost 2 games in a row. LSU's had an off week to get ready. Oh, LSU, 1-point win.
This game always comes down to the wire between LSU and Auburn. I think Auburn can win this game, and I think they let off the accelerator the last couple weeks. I think this week they get more focus going on the road. I think their defense gets turnovers, and I think Auburn upsets LSU.
Horned Frog. Cougar set the NCAA total offense record in '83, and he's one of 4 Cougar quarterbacks in the College Football Hall of Fame. At TCU, LT carries the torch. He wore number 5 for the Frogs, won 2 rushing titles, and both these guys are so proud of their alma mater's current status in college football.
TCU is starting to play some really good people out of conference. This year they obviously played Clemson and played Virginia. And so, you know, they continue to build that non-conference schedule like they've been doing. Pretty soon, if they start beating them teams, then they will have to be considered for a national championship game.
Well, I'm grateful to see the BYU program come back to its glory days again. We were flat on our backs a few years ago, and I give Bronco Mendenhall a tremendous amount of credit for going out and recruiting and using the unique circumstances that he recruits under and finding great athletes and being as strong and physical as any team in the country. And I couldn't be more proud to be associated with BYU football today. I wish them well.
You touch the gator, that's not just, hey, I'm going to touch the gator and go act like a fool. I'm going to touch this gator and I'm going to devote some time and some effort and basically my life to Florida football.
These Virginia Techsters tap the Hokie Stone and bust out of their tunnel.
It means a lot to me. It means that right now I'm going out to prepare for war. I'm going out to war.
The Coach's Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper, making a visit here to the Mountain West. Before that trophy existed, of course, BYU won the national championship. The national championship is at the top of that purple pyramid that Gary Patterson's created for TCU. They still believe huge things are possible. Here we go. And he's going to rip up the shot sheet that I actually need in just a couple of seconds. All right, big fella.
All right, Cosmo. Looks like Corso. Looks like Corso.
As you were saying, my friend.
As I was saying, the punter wasn't the first one to get trampled. You know, you come out.
It's all right, honey.
Do you guys have enough battery left?
Honey, I can take stills with this, but I can capture.
Oh, you can capture it.
He's going to join us here as our guest celebrity picker, making his way out of the bus. You know the place is going to come unglued when LaVell is in the house. Saturday selection straight ahead on Game Day.
Is drinkability.
Kickoff hours away here in Provo, but they are fired up. Kickoff approaching on the SEC network as Jevin Sneed and Ole Miss take on the Razorbacks. LaVell Edwards ruled the WAC BYU for decades, won 257 games. This is the silver anniversary of the national championship of BYU. His name is on the stadium. So we are honored to have Coach Edwards join us on the set here as our guest picker. Also, by the way, a voter in the Legends Bowl, so you follow things very, very closely. How is it being a predictor? It's a little bit different than your normal role, huh?
Well, particularly when you're on television making it, it's a lot easier to go out there and just call in some number, but
I want you to know,
it's a little different now.
He brags all the time that he's 1-0 against you head-to-head. On the road at Michigan, they've had a heck of a time winning over the years there. Joe Paterno in the big house. How do you see that one, LaVell?
I got to go with Joe. You know, my buddy, I think he had stubbed his toe at Iowa, but, well, they actually played in College Station, I think that game was, but I think they got...
Beautiful. Give me that thing.
Yeah, here we go.
The Cougar head.
Right there.
Oh! The handoff.
Oh, he faked them. The head fake.
The head fake.
The head fake.
Here comes Super Frog.
Go! Super Frog! Super Frog's the winner.
We appreciate it. You're a great...
Aren't you proud? We went and bought some BYU clothes yesterday.
Oh, is that? Yeah. Well, the ones we have, I didn't like the one I had.
Yeah.
I mean, the BBC.
Oh, it is so much more.
Get away with so much there too. Well, they got that sun right on the side of his face.
I just can't close. Don't turn around. Don't turn around again. Don't turn around. You gypsy heart.